Welcome to the Leroy Carlton Show. I am your host, Leroy Carlton, and as always, God is in the forefront of everything that we do. And I would like to start off with a quick prayer. All right. Dear Lord of grace and mercy, whatever this day holds, be with me. Help me to embrace the distractions and the troubles that may come or the ones that already assail me. Help me to trust in your mercy and your knowledge that you will be with me in every difficulty and trial. Thank you for meeting me in the midst of struggles and filling me with renewed hope and possibility. I know that you have everything under control and that you are ready, even now, to help me carry the load. I ask for your favor this day for all who look to you in guidance and mercy. Grant us courage to move in the direction you would have us go. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, welcome again to the Leroy Carlton Show. And the guest I have for you today is a power couple. Yes, I said a power couple. Some of you know them, some of you don't. For me, I met them at a company that I will not mention, but I would see them all the time on Zoom with this group that we had called the Cross Country Crusaders. And I would see them all the time. And then when we had our big event, I got to meet them for the first time. Now, when I met the male, because I won't give you the names yet, when I met the male, he was a huge dude. And I'm looking at this dude like, wow. And then his wife, who was the sweetest person you could ever want to meet, I met her. We also was in Sandy Springs, Georgia together for LBA, which was an awesome event. So let me tell you a little bit about them. They have been married for 18 years. They have two kids, ages 20 and 27, and they have two grandkids, ages 6 and 8. Now, for the female, she graduated from Texas Woman University on a softball scholarship where she got a degree in, oh my goodness, kinesiology. Excuse me if I messed it up. But if you don't know what that is, it is the study of mechanics and movement. So there you go. I'll let her correct that when she come up. She was born and raised in Texas. She became a personal trainer for 12 years, worked in American Airlines for 5 years, and now she's building a massive business with her family. Now, for the male, he was born in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and I know it's cold up there, but he's been in Texas most of his life. He is a master electrician and retired from construction as an executive after 30 years. After 4 months, he retired his wife and they started a business with their closest friends and family. His primary focus is helping others improve their financial future through education and personalized strategies. Now, they both are owners of Elite Financial Education and Investment, which is financial services and a coaching company. They also have Elite Financial EDU, which is agent development, and Elite Success Systems, which is a business management platform. So, if you're wondering about the power couple that I am talking about, I am currently talking about Ed and Kim Cross. So, I'm going to bring them in. Bam. Welcome to the show. And thank you guys for doing this. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Leroy, for having us. We're
Thank
excited.
you.
Hey, not a problem. Now, I have 8 questions that I have for the both of you. You can answer them any way that you want to answer. They're nothing difficult, but they're very entertaining. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and kick this off. The first question that I have for you, what is the one thing that got you interested in the financial industrial?
I wasn't. I was not at all interested. So I guess I would just have to say my husband got me interested.
That's true. That's true. It was a lot of begging, a lot of prepared dinners to get her on board, a lot of schmoozing. But for me, Leroy, it was the fact that I never thought that I could get into it. Honestly, I've always been a numbers person. I've always been into finances. I was very good with budgeting. In fact, that was part of what helped me excel in my career. I had to manage, $1 million budgets and projections and billings and cost analysis and all this stuff. And I did that very good for our household, but I didn't really know what to do with growing my money. So I literally thought you had to have like a degree. She's the college one. She's the smart one. I'm the dirty hands guy. So I don't have a degree. I didn't think I was smart enough to do it. And then, that we're in finance and insurance, the insurance side of it, that just wasn't sexy to me. Like that didn't appeal to me at all. So I was like, not smart enough for finance. I'm too sexy for insurance. It's just not for me. And then come to find out I could do both. Somebody just had to empower me and give me the education to understand it enough to be able to take that step forward.
Okay. I like that answer. Okay, now this is a two-part answer, a two-part question. Ed, working with your wife, how have working with her impact you? And Kim, same question.
You want to go first? Ladies first?
I'll go first. The main thing with him is he is all about systems. I know that most of y'all that know him know that. And he's very system driven and organized. And I am not at all. Like I could care less if the tab goes in the right direction on the fast start or whatever. I do not care. But it's definitely made me get more organized because I have to try to, of course, keep my thoughts and everything together, but try to stay ahead of him a little bit because he feels, everything goes through him. He's the face of all of our business. And if he isn't up to speed on stuff, then our business kind of stops. And so I have definitely had to grow in trying to stay a little bit ahead of him so he's ready. He's got everything in control and definitely gotten more organized.
Okay.
Hey, so I don't know if it's just my wife or if it's other husbands out there with wives. My wife watches murder shows like every time she's not working. So I know if I disappear, I'm saying it loud. I didn't just leave. She did something. So it's made me working with her. It's made me learn to be a lot more patient because I was a bulldog in my previous career. I was, quote unquote, the boss. I was a very servant leader, but I also knew when things had to get done, I could push the trigger and get it done. It doesn't work so well with your wife. I've also gotten very nimble at like dodging things when she throws them. I'm just kidding. She's not like that. She doesn't do that. But the patience thing was big and I had to relinquish control because I was used to being in control of how things went. And if it didn't go well, good or bad, it was always on my shoulders. And I never really had anybody like partner with me to build that. And then she does do things different than me. I like, for example, like spreadsheets. I know how to write macros and do all this stuff and automate it. And I'm like, here, I can save you time. And she's like, no, because then if I move this, it'll break it. I'm like, yeah, why would you move it? She's like, well, I don't know. I might need to. So I had to just relinquish control, let her really do her role the way it best suits her. Let me stay in my lane. So it taught me to stay in my lane and trust her and rely on her. But it's been challenging, but honestly, it's been a lot of fun because everything else that I built in my life, I kind of built by myself. So it's good that we figured out that balance to work together because it does take the pressure off. Like I know when I'm tied up in front of the computer doing things all day long, I know when we do get a chance to talk, she's got things moving on the other side of it. So it taught me patience. It taught me, to relinquish some control and just trust somebody else to build a business with.
And it's getting better. I mean, we were yelling at each other last night at 9:00 because I moved an appointment in his schedule and he was ready to be done, but it had to be done. And it just, and we yelled, and then I walked out of the room and it got done. So it's all good.
Ultimately, what we're trying to tell you here is if you are working with your spouse, just give her way and everything will be all right at the end of the night.
Hey, you ain't got to tell me that. Happy wife, happy life.
That's right.
Okay, that was awesome. Okay, here's the next question. What excites you about the future of your businesses?
I don't know. Let's see. Help me out with this one.
I'll go first. For me, it's not just the changes that are happening in our life, the freedom. I was at a job that controlled all of my time. In fact, when I retired, it was during COVID, so I was on the road, living out of a suitcase in a hotel room, driving 1,000 miles a week because airports only had 2 or 3 flights a day. So for me, I'm excited about the continued freedom that we've been enjoying for the past little over 3 years. And then on top of the time freedom, the financial freedom that we're creating, but it doesn't just stop with us. Like we're very focused on community. Like we're passing, our daughter's 20, she's licensed, she's in business with us. Like in this year, 2024, she'll turn 21 years old in March. She'll graduate college in June, and she's going to retire from her job. She doesn't have a career yet, but she's going to retire and be full-time in the business this year.
Awesome.
So for me, I'm excited about the growth of the impact we can have on the community, our family, we got grandkids, like our grandkids sit in here and listen to us on calls talking about financial education, but the impact we're having, not just on our agents, helping empower them to build the life that they want, the overall community too. Like every family we sit with, I 100% know we're putting them in a better financial place than before they sat with us. And sometimes that's just helping them rearrange, where they're putting their money. Sometimes it's helping them do exactly what we did, increase their earnings and get that time freedom for them and their family. Like that's the biggest thing for me, is just the impact that we can have in our whole community. And when I talk about the community, I talk about the human community, because it's right now you're talking to Kim and I, but we have agents all across the country that have the same servant heart that want to do the same things. And we can change the world one person, one family at a time. So the community doesn't stop with just the area we live in. Like I really want to help everybody empower themselves with financial education so they can build a better financial future, make more money, have more time to spend whatever not everybody has a family. Maybe you want to spend time jet skiing in Hawaii because you're single. Great. Well, let's build you a life where you can go do that. That's what I'm really excited about, is just the opportunity that we have to create better futures for everybody that we have a chance to impact.
I totally agree.
I agree with that as well.
Okay, this question is for Kim. You were born and raised in Texas, right?
Yes.
So, looking at your life now, how have being raised in Texas impact the life that you're living now?
I mean, I hate the cold. Like it's been cold here in Texas the last week and I cannot stand it. I will literally have 2 coats on over a sweatshirt. And so I will never move north. But there is something that is called Southern hospitality. And I think that is something that is very real. And I empathize with everyone I talk to. I am very patient. And I have to be, and I will write it out for as long as it needs to, as long as it's going to take. But I have been raised by 2 amazing parents that are caring and giving and inclusive, and that is, and my mother is half Hispanic, and so it's the Hispanic in me and the Texan in me that we are just like, okay, whatever has to be done, we'll make sure it gets done, and it doesn't matter how long it takes. And we love everyone, we include everyone, and we want everyone to be our friend.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So, just an addition. Are you a Dallas fan?
No.
I knew that's why I loved you. I knew that's why I loved you.
My parents are, and sorry, Mom and Dad.
Man.
Hey, Leroy, let me touch on that. Let me share on that real quick. So, I'm from Michigan.
Okay.
You can only be a Detroit Lions
Right.
fan, even though they're doing great this year. You can only be a Detroit Lions fan for so long before you have to have like a second team. And I grew up, and my mom loved the Redskins because of John Riggins. So that's my team, Detroit and Washington. And I tell everybody, I got
Yeah.
3 favorite teams: Washington, Detroit, and anybody playing the Cowboys.
I know that's right. Well, I'm a Steelers fan, and my boys got beat by
Oh
Buffalo.
man,
But I mean,
the Bills balled out though.
yeah, we hung in there, but we don't have a quarterback, so
Yep.
I didn't see us beating them anyway. So good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, for you, Ed, this is your question. Coming from the construction industrial that you were at as an executive, how does that compare to what you're doing now? And what did you take from that to bring into your business now?
Man, that's a great question. I'm gonna be honest with you. When I first came into this industry, we're part of Team Elite. Amazing culture. It was weird, super weird to me in the beginning. I come in, I'm listening, I'm following, I'm trying to learn. I came in as a subject matter expert in my previous career. Like I didn't know everything, but I knew where to find the answers. And I came into this industry not knowing anything. So I wanted to read and research and figure out everything I could before I started. And then Jason Bove, who was on your show, I call him Brove, who was on your show a couple of weeks ago, he was the one that was training me and guiding me in this journey. And he was like, dude, you're going to be successful. You've been successful at everything you've ever done. But I only know one way to do this. If you want me to help you, you got to do this. And then I had to swallow my man pride and say, okay, just let me let this guy tell me what to do. And it's hard for me too, because I'm 6'2". He's like 5'8" and 3/4. I'm just kidding. I love Jason. We're close friends. So I had to pick on him a little bit on this, but he told me what to do. And I just started doing it, and it started working. And then when it started working, everybody's like, oh, Ed, you're a stud. Great job, man. Can't wait to meet you. And I'm like, everybody's being so nice and complimenting me. And I'm like, all I did is do what I was told. Like, it was weird. It was really weird how embracing the culture was.
Right.
But now it's something that I love the most, because everybody truly cares about celebrating other people's wins. And that's not the way construction is. Construction is very backstabbing. They're very cutthroat. You can't actually tell anybody what you really want as a goal in construction, because they'll try to hold you back. Trust me, I did that my whole career. I had to fight through adversity, because I tell people, yeah, I want your job then. And then they try to hold me back because they knew I was coming for their job. But here it's just different. We support each other. We help each other rise up. Just the amount of people that we can lean on and leverage. And again, going back to working with my wife, having somebody that I can depend on. I never had that. Like even in construction, people that I worked with for 10 years, I know how powerful greed can be. And I know how powerful, success and recognition can be to change people. And I watched it happen to people that I groomed and mentored turn around and try to cut my throat when they could get an extra $1 or $2 an hour. It's not like that here. It's so different. And it was such a culture shock at the beginning, but it's so refreshing. It's so amazing. I wish everybody could get a piece of what we get to experience every day working with our team and our leaders and our mentors, because it is truly life-changing. And then how did that help me prepare for this? In the beginning, I didn't think it did. I literally thought that everything that I'd learned up to that point was for construction. It was for electricity, for electrician work. It was for building buildings and leading construction teams. And then eventually it took time. And again, the leadership that I had allowed me to grow through that process. He could have very easily told me in the beginning, do this, do that, do this. I probably would have rebelled and not really done it, because I don't take, orders that well. That's why I never went in the military. But he let me grow into that role. And I started realizing that leadership is leadership. And I went through extensive leadership development programs in my previous career, because I was managing, up to 200 electricians and 40 people in management at a certain point in time, and $40 million worth of work per year. And that's a lot of responsibility. So they put a lot of training and developing into the executive leaders to be able to handle that. And I thought that shut off when I retired and went into starting a new business. And over time, I started realizing that leadership is leadership. It was the same things that made me successful there were going to make me successful here. I had to start accepting those gifts that I had and those things that I had learned and start using them here. And I had to take out some of the bad language and some of my halfway Spanish, because that's what we use in construction, and start just delivering the same messages and information. And that's when our business really started moving, because I stepped into the role that I'd been preparing to do for all those years in construction. So it translated very well. It also helped me with, because I'm system and process driven, I spent a lot of time in continuous improvement for all the companies I worked at.
Mm-hmm.
So when I came into here, again, the leadership recognized that I had some different skills and talents, and they allowed me to get involved with developing some of our systems. We have an amazing 12-step system that it's been proven successful for 2 years now, creating multiple successful entrepreneurs. And a lot of that started from the skills that I'd learned in my previous career. I just had to get around the right people, and we all started working together as a leadership team to start putting that stuff into place. So honestly, everything that I built up to that point, when I accepted it and I realized it, it all transferred over, because that was part of who I became. I was shutting that part off in the beginning.
That's awesome. That is a great segue into this next question. That is awesome. Okay. Who would you say was, and the both of y'all can answer this, who would you say was the biggest influence on the both of you, and who are the people that you looked at as mentors?
Through life, I would say my mom. My mom is amazing. She is the glue that holds our entire family together, the sweetest, cutest little thing ever. But she's only 4'10", and I got her beat by like 2 inches, maybe 2.5. But
I'm glad you got this recorded, because she usually tries to say she's 5'1", and I'm like, "You're 5 foot, babe." I know. So she said 5 foot.
But I just keep planning and striving to be like her. But in this business, I mean, there's so many, because Brove is just, he tries to push all the credit away from himself, but he's pretty strategic in what he does. And
Right.
One of the things, even, we were actually about to get divorced whenever we joined this company, or joined in this industry in 2020. And he just was so strategic in getting us not to get divorced. Every time I would like run in the room to grab something or tell him bye or something like that, he would pull me in the room and start having conversations. And he was very instrumental. And needless to say, we're not getting divorced anymore.
Awesome.
But Jason was amazing. His wife, Des, just was patient in helping us and trying to become a power couple, because they're amazing at running their business with 6 kids, and we don't even have 6 kids. And
Yeah.
So, but there are other people that I could credit to showing me, having patience with me, like Jesus Villalobos. Oh my goodness. He probably got so tired of me because I was learning this industry, and I was the one putting in the applications, and I wouldn't know what to check the box on this and don't check that. And he was so patient with me, and I would call him so many times a day. And there's so many others. My mother-in-law, Jackie Ruiz, she has been amazing. She helps me stay sane, because I get very behind because I'm not organized. And and she'll just take a day with me and hop on with me and help me get organized and get caught up and just take some of the stuff off my plate. And she is the best running mate and referral partner ever. And everyone needs a mother-in-law like Jackie Ruiz. So,
Well, man,
great.
You covered like everybody. But yeah, obviously, Leroy, my mom too. I was raised by a single mom. She taught me how to overcome adversity, how to work hard, life's not going to give you what you want. If you want something, you got to go get it. And coming into this business, because I'm going to be honest, through my whole construction career, I never had anybody help me, never had a mentor. And I know now, looking back, part of that was probably me, because I never asked for it. I was the guy that, like I said earlier, on my annual review, they say, what's your goal for next year? And I'd be like, well, I want to become, a project manager. Well, you can't. That's my job. And I'm like, well, we're going to expand or grow. No, I guess I'm taking your job then. Well, then guess what he did to me for the next 12 months? He tried to hold me down as much as he could. But I
Yep.
promise you this, I still took his job. Every time that I did that, I did it. But I made it harder on myself by being that person. I just didn't know any different. That's something that I definitely learned from my mom. But coming into this business, geez, so many people. She just named a ton of them, but obviously Brove was huge because he knew how to handle me with kid gloves, so to speak. Because I was the bull in the china cabinet. Like I came in and I'm like, dude, just tell me what to go and I'll run through it. And I was like, I'm going. And he's like, hey, you're blowing people out. Like you got to stop being so aggressive. And I was like, well, if they're not running with me, they said they told me this. And he's like, you got to meet people with. So he's really done a good job at tempering my pace through the business because everybody is not me. Everybody's going to move differently. And I knew this from leadership development before. But when you're leading a volunteer army, it's completely different than when people have to do what you say. And I'm asking questions, and when people are telling me they want to do things, I'm assuming that they say it with the same intention as I would say it with. But sometimes people aren't quite as committed or dedicated as me, or they get distracted. They have more going on in their life than we do because our kids are grown. So I had to learn to accept that, and Jason was a huge part of that. Another thing that he did is very quickly, he knew I came in with that executive mindset. So he connected me with leaders like Jeff Levitan and Greg Kapp, like right off the bat. And I met you at that event, and I realized that I got to step my shoe game up. Like I can be who I want to be. Like everybody, like people don't realize, but I watch everybody that I've been coming in contact with over the little over 3 years that we've been in this business has been an impact in my career and our success because I'm a consumer of information and knowledge and whether that's the design of your shoes or the way that you carry yourself on stage or the way that you run your podcast. Like I'm paying attention to everything because I know at some point something that I learned from you or saw from you or observed from somebody else, I'm going to be able to use in my life to be a little bit better. So there's been so many people. I could list a whole ring of names, but everybody that's in Team Elite, we've been together now for little over 3 years with Team Elite. We recently switched brokerage firms in the financial industry, but we have the same core group of people. I've learned from every one of them. And that's the beauty of what we do is just that family culture that we've created to where we can all lean on each other and help each other grow and learn from each other. So I don't want to go through the whole list of names and take hold the rest of the show. I know you got some more questions, but it's literally been like everybody that I've come into contact with in the last 3 years.
Hey, this show is about you guys.
I have to give one more person that I forgot.
Yeah.
Kristen Heisler.
Yeah, she's awesome.
I admire her so much, and she runs so many businesses. She's an amazing single mother, just the best outlook on life, 100% positive. She will help me out in a pinch. She will always be there for me. And she gave this amazing speech on how to the spinning plates speech. And we live by something called the 5 F's, and it's your faith, your family, finance, fitness, and fun. Right. And so she said that whenever life gets overwhelming, you go in that order. So if there's conflict with your family and your faith wins because it's in that order. If there is a birthday party and you are going to church or whatever, they all conflict, you go with whatever is in that order, and it has to be that way. And that just made me realize, okay, there has to be a priority level in everything we do for our lives to look as amazing as hers looks. And so and she's so strong and powerful, and I give lots of credit to her.
Yeah, ditto. Yeah, Chris is awesome.
I mean, I agree. I agree. Because on my arm, I have a tattoo. It's a heart, and it has my list of priorities: God, my wife, my family, then me. So I get it. Now, as far as the shoe game, I thank you for the compliment, but that's all the wife, brother. That is all the wife.
I remember, man, when you came off that stage, I was like, man, I got to step my game up.
That is all the wife. She be finding me some crazy men's shoes. She'll buy them and she says, sweetie, this is going to go with this suit that you got. And
but you owned it. You rocked it, Leroy. You owned it.
Hey,
everybody could pull that off.
but if you want to talk to me about tennis shoes, then I'm your man. But if you're talking the dress shoe game, that is all my wife. That is all her.
You
But
remember what I'm talking about, right? At that
yeah,
2021, that
I
convention in
noticed.
Georgia.
And Jason asked me about those shoes as well.
Yeah.
Because everybody was looking at them shoes that day. And I'm wondering why everybody is looking at me and looking at these shoes. But everybody loved them. But you was the thing about the shoes. But
Yeah,
all that credit goes to my wife, brother.
I love it.
Great job. Great job.
Now, which is a great segue to the next question. You two have one of the biggest teams in the company right now. So here's my question. How do you look at your team, and how does your team impact the both of you?
I look at our team as complete equals. Like I've only been in this industry for 3 years, and we have people that have been in the industry for way longer than us. And there's no way that I know more than they do. And so I am eager to learn from all of the amazing people on our team. We have this small army out in San Antonio, Texas, and oh my goodness, they keep us on our toes. They are 5 steps ahead of us, and we're just trying to keep up. And shout out to Vahid and Maribel and Lisa and all the people down there in San Antonio. But there's over 100 people on our team, and every single one of them know probably more than I do, and I can learn from every single one of them. And I am just want to be 100% available to them. Mm-hmm. I will answer their phone call whenever I absolutely can. I am, if there's a reason that they're calling me, and I am eager to help. So complete equals.
Yeah, I second that for 100%. In fact, I had somebody yesterday say, "Hey, so how should I introduce you?" And I was like, "Business partners. We're building this together. We're business partners. It doesn't matter, when you're building a financial services agency. There's always like, oh, the broker, the agent, the upline, the trainer. That I don't support any of that. Like like Kim said, we're equals. We're business partners. We're all building our business together, and that's the way I try to treat everybody. I know that we came into the business and we had some pretty rapid success compared to what a lot of other people had experienced. I'm going to be honest, it was not what I expected. I expected a lot more. We fell short of my goals many times, but we keep pushing, we keep grinding. But I truly believe now that with the business partners that we have, we're going to exceed all of our goals because we're going to help every single person that's in our agency exceed their goals. So by default, when they exceed their goals, we'll exceed ours. We'll help our business partners that are above us exceed their goals. But it's all about the equality, just treating people with equal respect. We all have different gifts and talents. Like I said earlier about learning from everybody in the business, being observant. It's the same way with everybody on our team. I don't care if you came in 2 minutes ago or you've been in the industry for 20 years. I'm with Kim. I've only got a little over 3 years experience in the industry. I put a lot of work in to get to where we are. I've learned a lot because I don't sit still well. When I don't have client appointments or agent appointments, I'm reading, I'm researching, I'm learning. I mentioned it earlier, I'm a consumer of information. Like I love to learn and try to get more knowledge, and I share it with people, but I also learn from other people. I'm always open to learning new things. Some of the things, the best things that I do on a daily basis, I've learned from people that came into this business after us and had no clue what they were doing. So I'm just very, very grateful that we have such an amazing group of business partners. And what it does for me is it motivates me and inspires me to always keep my game up. Like I always have to perform. Like Kim said last night, she double booked me, and I'm a very big stickler on time and being on time and things flowing the right way. When they don't, it frazzles me. Like, yeah, it throws me off my A game, and I got to refocus. So we were literally like, we weren't yelling. She said yelling. We weren't yelling. We don't yell at each other. but I was literally like, dang, you can't do this to me. Like, we've got to be on track. Like, the schedule's the schedule. It is the way it is. And she's like, well, it's too late. I already changed it. Here's what it is now. And she literally shut the door and walked out, and the camera came on, and I put on a smile, and I did those next 2 appointments as happy as I could be. I was energetic, because I know that when I'm sitting on that appointment with one of my business partners, brought somebody to the table that needs to hear what we're willing to share, I don't have time to be tired. I don't have time to be off my game. Like, I get one shot to show this family the impact that we can have on their financial future, the impact that we can have on their legacy building, on their getting out of debt, like whatever it is that they're looking for. We only get one chance. And if I show up tired and angry and disgruntled, I'm not doing anybody justice. So our business partners motivate me. They inspire me to be better, to do better, to do more, to just always bring the best version of me, because that's what they deserve. Uh-oh, Leroy, you froze, or you were taking a nap for a second?
Yeah, I don't know what the heck was going on, but my wife has a question for y'all. She says, what motivates you to continue in the business when you're hit with a huge obstacle?
Can I take this one?
No.
Okay.
Two things, of course, our goals, and we have things to accomplish, and who cares if there's a little roadblock, and then our team, of course. All that we want is for Vantage, for Team Elite, for the people underneath us, everyone involved, to be successful, and nothing can stop that, and nothing should be able to stop that.
I'm gonna go a little deeper. I was a minority in the neighborhood I grew up in, and you're always gonna meet adversity in life. I had to meet adversity every single day, walking to school, walking home from school, playing football, every activity we did as kids. I was always outnumbered. I was always ganged up on. And Leroy, that's part of why when I got older, I was like, I got to get bigger so this doesn't continue to keep happening. I'm just kidding. But adversity is part of life, and something that I learned through the trials and tribulations of my own life. And then also when I got into leadership development is like, and then when I started getting more spiritual with the Lord, adversity is part of life. Failure is part of life. You can't stop it. You cannot avoid it. It's going to happen. So my concept on it is, whatever it is, hit it as hard as you can, as fast as you can, climb over it, run around it, run through it, get somebody to lift you over it, pull somebody over it with you, whatever you got to do, just get past it, but then get set and get ready, because there's another one coming. Like, you're always going to have to face adversity, and the more prepared you can be for it, the better off you're able to get through it. So I lead a book club on Saturdays. I should have plugged that and had you plug that in on the ticker or something. But I go through some of the best-selling books and just give like real world insight, because a lot of people can read a book, but they don't know what to take from it. So I give my insight on them, and we're vulnerable. Kim gets mad and punches me the neck sometimes after the call, so I'm sharing personal information. But it's to help people relate.
Throwing me under the bus sometimes. I'm like, hey, you didn't have to throw that in there.
But it's real. It's just trying to help people realize we're all people, and we're all going through the same stuff. We're more alike than we are apart. But one of the things that I always preach, if you let me say that word, is that you always have a choice. You can't control what's happening right now. You can't control what's already happened to you, but you always have a choice in how you handle it. You can be positive about it. You can be negative about it. You can do nothing. You can take action. Doesn't matter what it is. You always have a choice. And when that adversity hits, you have a choice. How do you handle that adversity? Do you let it cripple you, hold you down? And then I know this too. As you delay overcoming one adversity, what happens? The other one's still coming behind it. It's going to stack up and then stack up and then stack up. And now you got 10 problems to deal with, to where if you just go attack that one and get through it, you'd be in so much better place to be better prepared for the next one. And I'll give a little tip here too. Always attack the hard things first, because it's going to give you a boost of confidence. It's going to put that big challenge behind you, to where now you're more prepared for the little ones. And these happen every single day. Every day you're going to face something small, something big. Hit the big ones first, get it out of the way, and then you can roll through the little ones, and maybe you actually get to enjoy a little bit of your time that day. But if you don't, and you avoid the big ones, they stack up, and they carry over to the next day, and the next day, and the week, and the month. And next thing you know, we got depression and anxiety and medications, and like, it's just something that we have to accept as a society. Adversity is coming for all of us, but the blessing that you're looking for, it's literally on the other side of every adversity that you're facing.
Man, you're a man after my own heart, brother. Because man, I know exactly what you're saying. And oh man, I always would talk to my wife about being on time. If you're on time, you're late. If you're early, you're on time.
Are you talking to your wife or my wife?
But hey, both. My wife don't have no stickler for time.
I'm not listening.
I would always, God, but I get it. I get it. And man, everything that you said was so powerful. Everything that you said. So, your last and final question.
Oh, we're at the last one already. Right. Number 8.
Yeah, y'all went through them, and with the additional one from my wife. Oh man. If there was any one thing that you could change, whether it be life or the world, what would it be? Any one thing.
Dang.
Last time I tried to go first, you said no, so I'm gonna let you go first.
Well, you go first because I don't want there to be like a long silence. I'm sure you know it already.
Yeah, so if I could change one thing, I wouldn't change anything from the past. I had this discussion with Jeff Levitan and some other leaders in his villa in Costa Rica earlier this year, or 2024 last year. And his question was like, if you could change something, would you rather be able to predict the future or change the past? Or if you could change anything in your past, something like that. I wouldn't want to change anything in the past because it's already happened. And the past is not meant to hold us back. We're not meant to be stuck there. The past is meant to build us into who we need to be prepared for the next thing coming in life. So if I could change anything, it's very simple. I would actually just want people to be more open-minded, because people are so systematic. They're so programmed. They get stuck in their beliefs because of what was imposed upon us as a child or as an employee. Like, people don't even really understand how we're groomed through the education system to become employees into the working system. If we really understood, if we were ever taught through school how to become an entrepreneur and how powerful that can be and how freeing it can be and how profitable it can be, we would all have a different outlook on a job versus business. But the open-mindedness holds so many people back, or I'm sorry, closed-mindedness holds so many people back. They're not open to new relationships. They're not open to new business opportunities. They're not open to new solutions to build a better financial future. They're not open to receive the message that God's been trying to give them for 20 years. And they're so stubborn. They keep denying that that's what it is. That's to me is like something, if I could change that, if I could just have everybody, I don't know, maybe we could start small, one day a month. Kind of like that movie where Yes Man or whatever, where they have to say yes to everything for however long. Like, just be open-minded. Just put down your walls. Stop being so guarded, because a lot of times, a lot of that's self-inflicted too, because of the traumas we've been through in our life. We forge these walls around our future, and it's not beneficial for anybody, for you, your family, for the ones around you. And this is something that I've learned from my mom, like the transition I've seen in her throughout our whole life, is that she's been through a lot, but it made her who she is to become who she's destined to be. And some of us are so close-minded that we never get past this is who I was part. We stay trapped because we don't open our mind to see what else is out there for us. I'm not a big dreamer. I'm not a big visionary. I'm more of a tactical, tell me what needs to be done. Let me game plan it. I'm going to figure out a way and a process and a system to get it done. But I've really been working on this a lot lately, because there's so much opportunity out there. I've seen, and I left the name out earlier too, like Andre Pennington coming into this business and coming into this world has changed my life. Like, the way that I've thought about things. Literally, I watched the guy. We went to Arizona for an event, and he's like, "Hey, what is that, your rental car out there?" And we had a souped up Charger. It was a nice rental car. And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, let me see the keys." And I was like, "Why does he want to go drive this rental car?" And he took the keys and handed me the keys to, at this point, he had, you know, a nice C8 brand new Corvette. And
Right.
he's like, just drive this. I was like, dude, we're here for 5 days. He's like, yeah, just drive it around. I don't care. And then the next time we went out, he's like, hey, I'm going to trade the Corvette and get a Lambo. And I'm like, this dude's like, he's a visionary, and he's not doing it to flex on anybody, but you get to this point of success in your life, you got to do these things. But he had to open his mind to make that step from that Corvette to that Lamborghini. And all of us, we have to do some kind of unlocking or opening our mind to be able to get to that next level in life, whether it's next level of success or love or whatever it is that you're looking for. I would just want everybody to be more open-minded.
Man, that was awesome. And I will
top that.
I will expound on Mr. Pennington. You know, talking to that dude make you really sit back and take a look at, and he's like, hold on, man, let me take a look at myself real quick.
Yes.
Hold up. Because that dude is so humble.
Yeah.
And with everything that he accomplished, you know, I could talk to that dude for hours.
Yep.
You know,
and he will talk to you. He'll do the same thing.
He surely will. He will give you feedback real quick. And I love his outlook on life, you know, and I always say in my videos that 2023 was a transitional year for me, you know, because I went through a lot in 23. And looking at now, and I say 2024, it will be no more. No more negativity, no more toxicity, none of that. Because I'm around people that care. Now,
yes.
My wife, I think one of the reasons she asked you that question is because the company that we left, and you know the company all too well, put a bad taste in her mouth.
Mm-hmm.
It really put a bad taste in her mouth. And for me, you know, it was like, well, I saw the playing field for what it was. So it was no problem for me to just go. And I don't even think I told Jason when I left. But he
I didn't even know you left.
Yeah.
I just noticed you weren't on the meetings anymore.
Exactly.
And what's up with that, by the way? You didn't have to be in that old company to be a part of the Cross Country Crusaders. You still could have joined us.
You're right. But I had to detach myself from everything. And that's including the good people that was at Cross Country Crusaders. Because, and I think that's what hesitated my wife from wanting to come back, because of the bad taste that she got there. But she see what we have now, and she see where we're going, and the future is bright. And for the culture that we have and the culture that we're building, and I always stress that in my videos, this is where you want to be.
Yes.
So I challenge the DMV all the time. For all of the agents that's in Maryland, DC, and Virginia, I challenge you to contact me, and let's talk about the culture you're in compared to the culture I am in. And I did a video today on evolve and fossilize. I'll just leave it at that. You'll see the video.
I love it. Tommy, I know you're listening. Yeah. This is different. We got you. This is not the same old, same old. We're intentionally building something different where people with the right heart have every opportunity to win and succeed. And we do it together. There's no leaving somebody behind, no outshining somebody. We shine together.
That's right. That's right. Man, this was an awesome show. Again, another awesome show.
I got to ask you, like, we can't end without asking you a question. You've been such a graceful host. Leroy, let me ask you a question. I mentioned earlier when we were talking a little bit before, I see maybe some oversized sport coats, let your wife pick your shoes. You're on stage, maybe with a TV show, something going on in the future. I don't know. But what do you see, or what are your goals for this Leroy Carlton show that you're building right now? How big is it for you? How much are you trying to do with it? Like, what are your goals for the show?
For me, you know, when I came to Jason, because I had prayed, I told him that I had sat down in my living room, Because every day I'll try to take 10 minutes out of the day and just sit in quiet. Just sit there, do nothing, and just pray. So I asked God to give me something that would not only make an impact on people, but make an impact on my team and business partners. And then I think we was on a training call and Natalie said, when you pray, God will give you a vision and then he will give you a name. So when I woke up that morning, I said, you know what? I'm going to start a podcast and I'm going to call it the Leroy Carlton Show. And the first person I'm going to interview is Jason. So I called Jason up that morning like, hey, man, check this out. This is what I got. This is what I'm going to do. And I need you to be my first interview. And he was like, yeah, I'll do it. Hey, no problem. So we did the first show and we got a pretty good response. Mm-hmm. And I was pretty impressed because it turned out to be a pretty good show. So then I contacted Andre. Andre said he'll do the show. And I'm going to contact pretty much everybody that's on our team because I want to put you guys in the light. This is my purpose of doing. I want people to see you. I want people to know the kind of people that we have in this company. And not only will it shed a light on you guys, it would also shed a light on me and it'll shed a light on the company.
100%.
And people will see that and they're going to want to know what it is that these people got. I need to be a part of that. So that's pretty much where I'm going with this show. Just think about it. Every time we do training, we start off with prayer. Same way I start the show off.
Yep.
Because I want my show to be linked to what we're doing. I want people to understand exactly what we have. It's not the same old that you're used to. When you think of Prime America, when you think of World Financial Group, when you think of Family First, when you think of PHP, when you think of all these companies, they are all the same.
100%.
We are not in that rim.
Oh, no, sir.
In no kind of way. So I want my show, my team, my business partners, and everyone to be lined up. So whenever I do a show, interviewing one of you all, because my next guest is John and Tony Serrano.
Another amazing power couple.
Another power couple.
Yeah, they're awesome.
So I want people to see you guys for what you are. Yeah, we doing this, we're making this happen, but in the end of the day, we're human and we all trust God.
Yes.
God is in the forefront of everything that we do. So why wouldn't you want to come to this company?
Absolutely.
So I hope that answered your question.
Yeah. Hey, I'm telling you, brother, I told you earlier, like I'm seeing like the Steve Harvey show. He's getting older, man. It's going to be the Leroy Carlton show on NBC, CBS, whatever, whoever gives you the best contract. You might be hosting Family Feud someday. We love Family Feud. You got to keep it funny. You never know. But wait, we're very thankful to be here. And
yes,
man, if for anybody that's new and hasn't seen the Leroy Carlton show, watch this one first. Don't go back and watch Jason's and Andre's first because we can't follow that. Watch this one and then go back. Act like this is your intro to those ones. But Leroy, thank you so much for having us on. We're very excited. I actually, this is the part Kim doesn't like me sharing. She did her hair. She looks all beautiful today. I love it. She's sitting next to me with her hair down, not in a hat or a ponytail. So thank you for that because I'm really enjoying the view right here.
It took me like an hour. Look how long this is.
You didn't have to go through all that trouble.
I'm thankful she did, though.
She always looked nice.
She does. She does.
I mean, you didn't have to go through that trouble, but I appreciate it. I appreciate it. So I'm going to put you guys in the back of the studio, and I'm going to go ahead and close out real quick.
Yep.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for coming on to the show and watching the show. You got to see Ed and Kim Cross, great business partners, great friends, and an awesome power couple. as I always say, I always like to give you a book at the end of the show. So the book that I'll give you today is called Leaders Eat Last by Simon Sinek. If you haven't read this book, read this book because it is awesome and I recommend it for any leader. Even if you're not a leader, read the book. So next show, my guest will be John and Tony Serrano, another power couple. And I'm sure it's going to be another great show with them as well. So again, I thank you. God bless. And until the next show, take care and be safe.